Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I have another Disney Vacation Club rental video for you. Today we are talking about the best resorts for DVC rental stays. Now of course there's no bad resort to rent DVC points at. You will always save money when you rent DVC points, but there are a handful of resorts that I think are the best specifically to rent points at. So before we get started, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already. I would love for you to stick around for more Disney content. I also wanted to add that if you are interested in renting DVC points, I always recommend David's Vacation Club rental. I mention them in all of my DVC rental videos because they are amazing. We've worked with them countless times. We book all of our DVC rental stays through them. They are incredible. This video is not sponsored by them. I just talk about them a lot, but I do have an affiliate link with them down below. So if you are considering renting points, I would love for you to use my link. It doesn't cost you anything extra. I make a small commission off of that, and then everything goes right back into this channel. So it would mean the world to me. And I think that's it. So let's go ahead and dive into the first resort. Okay, the first resort that I think is the best for renting DVC points at is Saratoga Springs Resort. Now, what I love about Saratoga is because it's one of the largest DVC properties, you're gonna find a lot of availability here. So whether you're looking for a studio, a 1, a 2 bedroom, they have tree houses. I mean, availability is gonna be much easier to find at this resort because of its size. Another reason this is such a great resort to rent DVC points at is because of the value. This resort was just recently fully refurbished, so the rooms are beautiful. Everything is updated. You have those pull-down Murphy beds. The bathrooms are beautiful. The master bedroom, if you get a 1 bedroom, is just gorgeous. The furnishings, the fixtures, I mean, everything about it is so nice. Now, I will say one of the drawbacks is the location. It only has bus access to all of the parks. But one of the perks about Saratoga is that you are in walking distance to Disney Springs. So that is really nice. We've stayed in the preferred section before and we had less than a 10-minute walk to Disney Springs. It was incredible. So if you do plan on spending a good amount of time at Disney Springs, Saratoga would be a really good one. But I would say if location doesn't bother you, maybe you drove, maybe you have a rental car, or maybe you just don't mind taking the buses to the parks, this is gonna be an incredible resort to rent DVC points at, just because the points per night to stay here are so low when you're comparing it to other DVC properties. So it's a really great value and the rooms are just beautiful. The next resort that I think is the best for DVC rental stays is Boardwalk Villas for a few reasons. One being the location. You have direct walking access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You also have boat access to the parks as well as access to the Skyliner. So transportation here is a huge perk. Another reason is gonna be because of the value. Now, I can't not compare the Boardwalk to the Beach Club, which is right across the way. I would say, in my opinion at least, these resorts are pretty comparable. The rooms are gonna be pretty similar. I wouldn't say one stands out more than the other, but you are gonna pay less points per night to stay at the Boardwalk as compared to the Beach Club, which is why I would always pick the Boardwalk to rent DVC points at, because it is a better value and you are gonna be able to save a little bit of money. You still get that same location, the same transportation perks. You also have all of the dining options right there at the Boardwalk as well. So direct access to all of those options. I mean, the Boardwalk has so much going for it and the value is just incredible. The next resort that I think is the best for DVC rental stays is Bay Lake Tower. If you have your heart set on staying on the monorail or you want direct access into Magic Kingdom, I think Bay Lake Tower is gonna give you the most bang for your buck. The main thing I love about Bay Lake Tower is, of course, the walking distance to Magic Kingdom. If you are walking at a brisk pace, you can get there in about 5 minutes, which is so nice, especially if you have little ones, if you wanna come back to the room for nap time or take a midday break and have lunch back in the room. It's so nice to not have to worry about the hassle of transportation and you're just 5 minutes away. And so you can pop in and out all day long, and it's just absolutely amazing to be that close. I will say these rooms are in need of a little bit of updating, but if that doesn't bother you, these rooms are far less points per night than the Polynesian or the Grand Floridian. So you get the perk of being right on the monorail, you're right at that Magic Kingdom location, but you're gonna pay less per night, which is why I think it's the best value for that location. One thing I'll note about Bay Lake Tower, specifically the studios, they are on the smaller side. So if you do have a larger family, it might be worth paying a little bit extra to upgrade to a 1-bedroom just to get a little bit more space. But because it's less points per night, you won't be paying quite as much as you would at a 1-bedroom for the Grand Floridian, for instance. So it may kind of, outweigh itself, but take that into consideration when you're thinking about Bay Lake Tower. But you just can't beat the location, being right on the monorail, walking distance to the park. It's just amazing. It really is the best value for what you're getting at that location. The next resort that I think is the best for DVC rental stays is Old Key West. Now, this is one of my favorite resorts. It's the first DVC resort that Andy and I ever stayed at, so it feels extra special to me, but there really is something special about Old Key West. I can't explain it, you just have to stay there. One of the main things I love about Old Key West is how ginormous the rooms are. These studios are some of the largest rooms on Disney property, and the 1 and 2 bedrooms, the Grand Villas, it's bigger than our first apartment. These rooms are huge. So the value of what you're getting space-wise when you compare that to Bay Lake Tower is pretty incredible. Another perk to Old Key West is how large this resort is, meaning there's a lot of availability. So just like Saratoga, you're more likely to find availability past that 7-month window. So this is another good one where if you're looking for something a little more last minute, you're more likely to find availability at Old Key West as compared to other DVC resorts. Another reason we love Old Key West is because of that boat access to Disney Springs. They have a really fun pool area. You have Olivia's Cafe, which is one of our favorite Disney restaurants. So it's a really great area, and I think it's a hidden gem. It gets looked over a lot just because it is a little more out of the way. The transportation isn't as great. You will have to take buses to all of the parks. The only transportation perk is that boat to Disney Springs. So if that doesn't bother you and you're more concerned with having a little more space, maybe you have a large family and you need the space to spread out, and maybe you can't pay as many points per night to stay in a 1-bedroom at the Riviera, but a 1-bedroom at Old Key West is way less points per night to stay there. So the value of what you're getting space-wise and square footage, it really can't compare to any of the other DVC resorts. And it did just recently get refurbished, so the rooms are beautiful. The kitchen is just gorgeous. It doesn't have that boxed in kitchen feel like a lot of the other DVC resorts do. It has more of an open kitchen, which I really like, so it makes it feel more spacious. And again, you get way more square footage here, so the value is just amazing. And the last resort that I think is the best for DVC rental stays is Animal Kingdom Lodge. Now, the reason I think this is good for DVC rentals specifically is because not only do you have access into Kidani Village, the DVC building, they also have DVC rooms in the main building at Jambo House, which means there's more availability. So if you don't have a preference on whether or not you stay in the DVC building at Kidani or in the main building at Jambo House, that really opens up your availability options. The main reason I think this resort is really great for DVC rental stays though is because it does require less points per night, especially when you're considering the standard view or even the value room category, which is a unique category to Animal Kingdom Lodge. So you're gonna pay significantly less per night to stay in those room types as compared to a 1 or 2 bedroom, a Savannah View, or other DVC resorts in general. And then of course the dining here is just incredible. You have their buffet, which is Boma, you have Indian African style cuisine at Sanaa, and then you have their steakhouse, which is Jigo. So a really great array of options if you're a little more adventurous with your food. Their quick service is amazing too. And I will say, I realized that one of the main drawbacks to Animal Kingdom Lodge is the location. You are pretty secluded from the rest of Disney property. So in order to get to all of the parks with the exception of Animal Kingdom, which is about a 2-minute bus ride, you're looking at a pretty lengthy bus ride to the rest of the parks. But if you're okay with that, this is a really great resort for DVC rentals. And I'll add too that I think this is a good one if you plan on spending a lot of time at your resort. Maybe you're factoring in a pool day or just a day dedicated to explore the resort. You have all of the animals, you have lots of activities going on at the resort that are included with your stay. And then of course you have all the dining options that I mentioned. So there's so much to do here. And if you have kids especially too that are really into safari animals, this is such a fun resort to be at. And again, the value here, I mean, the number of points that are required per night when you compare that to other DVC resorts, it's just a really great value. So that is why I recommend Animal Kingdom Lodge as one of the best resorts to rent Disney Vacation Club points at. All right, well, those are my top 5 resorts that I think are the best for DVC rental stays. Let me know down below in the comments if you have stayed at any of these resorts before. I would love to hear what your experience was. If you plan on renting DVC points, where are you staying? Let me know. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.